the spider that wiggled and giggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why. She swallowed that fly. I guess she died. What's an old lady who swallowed a bird? Now that's pretty absurd. She swallowed a bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and giggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why. She swallowed that fly. I guess she died. What's an old lady who swallowed a cat? Imagine that. She swallowed a cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and giggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why. She swallowed that fly. I guess she died. What's an old lady who swallowed a dog? My, what a haul. She swallowed that dog. She swallowed the dog to chase the cat. She swallowed the cat to chase the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and giggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why. She swallowed that fly. I guess she died. What's an old lady who swallowed a goat? Just opened her throat and swallowed that goat. She swallowed the goat to chase the dog. She swallowed the dog to chase the cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and giggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why. She swallowed that fly. I guess she died. What's an old lady who swallowed a cow? I don't know how. She swallowed that cow. She swallowed the cow to chase the goat. She swallowed the goat to chase the dog. She swallowed the dog to chase the cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider that wiggled and giggled and tickled inside her. She swallowed the spider to catch the fly, but I don't know why. She swallowed that fly. I guess she died. What's an old lady who swallowed a horse? She died, of course.
What's the name of it? What?
More than $1 million, because they turned down $1 million offer.
Or maybe it was $2 million. I thought he sold it, or maybe he kept some override and sold it. And he's using the money to finance another one. In other words, the better you get, the more difficult. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, these two are together.
I mean, this game, is this difficult?
Easy.
Probably 3 hours a day playing, average.
Boy, he knew what he was doing.
He was very expert. He could predict, I don't know, 8, 10 moves ahead. Yeah.
They can lose.
Can't check them all. Okay. No.
This won't really suck out your soul.
Pull it in, Ed.
I'm trying to bend my back. Oh.
that showed it.
I'll see it on reruns.
Big deal. You'll see it before that. Spade is similar to Hearts that they're playing over there. I'm losing already.
Steve's got the sound on too. Oh, we got say hi. Hannah, say hi. It's on.
Say hello.
Like hello.
Yes, I am.
Say hello. Hello.
Hi, Al.
Hey, play. Yeah, play. All hearts.
Ace, king, queen.
And she was from Glencoe? Yeah. Albie Miller. Just before Christmas?
December the 20th.
Indeed was. You, as I recall, you brought, came in chartered a railroad car.
A railroad boxcar.
Yes, and you brought?
Side-door sequence.
What all did you bring having that boxcar?
Everything in there. All furniture. Farm machinery. Wagons and buggies and everything.
Everything you would need to set up farming.
Everything.
And to set up housekeeping.
Plows, barrels, and everything.
How many horses? Cows?
2 horses.
2 horses? Some cows?
No cows.
Okay.
Just cows and hens.
2,500. There was a big, a little later, there was a very large hotel too.
Well, that was several years later.
Several years.
It never was above 2,500.
Well,
2 or 3 years later, it was down to 2,500.
now 20.
And then down to 20. And right now, it's about 150.
Well, I don't know whether there's that many. I'd say 20 or 30. There's not very many.
Well, 25 or 30.
Yeah. They still got a church there.
Oh, yes.
And that's about it.
A school.
It's not there now.
No school.
No school.
You
School,
sure?
yeah, school had been gone for a long time now.
Where did
Probably
they,
Hinton.
where did they take those people?
Hinton.
Did they go to him?
Yeah, it's Hinton High School.
Did they finish the post office?
That's right. It just recently, I'm quite sure it is now closed. I know it is, before she died.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Tell us about Jordan from Bridgeport out to your farm.
Well, just drive across the street. Oh, wasn't any fences or any roads or anything. Drive right across the field there. Wasn't a house in 10 miles. No house or shack or nothing.
How did you find your place?
Everything there is marked. Anybody that could read that, you could tell just where you were. You knew just which way to go for any particular thing.
And now originally you bought a claim right. Grandpa bought a claim right.
Yeah.
And then improved up on it. But the original, the fellow that drew the claim to start with, of course he had to locate all that and then go and report which claim he was going to take.
Yes. And he did it just, it was just some young fellow that thought he'd make $50, and we give him $800 for the farm.
He never intended to stay. Just
He didn't intend to stay.
Just a man of fortune.
No. And some of them never come back. And your dad went down there on a place. Nobody ever come there, and he took that place.
Well, that's the worst place in Caddo County.
Yeah, it was the worst place. Next to it.
The only worst has been just a little farther down at the bottom of the canyon.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
There's rock and blackjack.
And the place just between there, Corey was going to take it, my sister was going to take it, and she was only 20 years old and you had to be 21.
Oh.
And she went and told some of the neighbors how old she was, so we couldn't get her on there. Because the neighbors knew that she wasn't 21. She lacked
Was that
4 or 5 months.
That's the place that Cal Cleveland later owned?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we got that for $50. That farm. And she kept her mouth shut and wouldn't have talked too much. That's just that much.
Well, tell us something about life on as a pioneer.
Well, it was just rough and tumble. Some people come down from Kansas and they had 8 or 9 head of cattle, and they decided they'd go back to Kansas and they wanted to sell them. So we bought their cattle from them, and they went back to Kansas out. We got their cows.
Most of cows then, that was for milk and butter, wasn't it?
That was milk and butter.
That was a livelihood.
That's right.
Milk, sell cream and eggs.
No, you didn't sell anything. Anybody, nobody to buy it. You eat
ate?
eggs and cream, yeah. We didn't have the chickens, but we got the chickens pretty soon. It was that fall.
Broadcast with your hands. Slide it under?
No, we couldn't.
You had a drink.
Yeah, coming out of the Bridgeport, 140 binders, cut wheat.
I bet that's right.
That was a big day for Bridgeport.
I remember the first thrashing machine I ever saw. I was up at Grandpa's. This would be about 1916, 17, I suppose.
Around 17.
And he had some wheat clear around over on that, what you call it, the canyon place. They had a little patch of wheat, over there. Frank Smith came up. He pulled his outfit with a team, and everything was mounted on a wagon chassis. He had a gasoline motor on it, a little old separator behind. And so we pulled it around over there, and Grandpa Copley got on, and had a pair of goggles and a sharp knife, and they threw that, Uncle Willie and I, threw the wheat down on this platform, and he'd cut it and then shove it into the thrashing machine.
Yeah.
And that was and then the wheat came out, instead of having an elevator and elevating into the wagon, wheat came out into a little box down the bottom, and you scooped it up into a wagon.
Yeah, we scooped it into the wagon, that's right. And
Did you ever see a thrashing machine that was horsepower?
Oh, yes. Yes, we had, the last one I saw in Ohio was,
Horsepower.
yeah, about 6 head of horses on it. And they just turned around and around.
Had a tumbling shaft that drove the machine and separator.
And then they had a little bit of an engine that was, you could reach around it and it'd stand upright.
Later on.
Yeah. And it had 2 wheels. It just hitched a team to it and put it where they wanted.
Our son-in-law has a combine now that cuts 24 feet. Of course, they've got some with 30. And a long haul from back there.
Yeah, it's a long. Man trying to plow across that road for 1,000 wagons.
That was really one of the California trails south of the South Canadian River, between your place and the South Canadian River.
That was the South Canadian River Trail,
that was
the California Trail,
right.
And it was at least a quarter of a mile wide, some places maybe a half a mile wide, just one road after the other. They couldn't go on these other roads because the ruts was too deep.
It dated way back probably to 1850.
A long way back there.
A lot of that road trail, California or bust to that California gold rush.
And we saw trail wagons go by there day after day, it'd be 50, 60, 70 wagons in one
convoy,
One car.
caravan.
Next day there'd be another come along, 60 wagons, all with the overjets on the trails. Here later, here would come 50 wagons of Indians, and the squaws would just set them in, they'd just throw hay in the wagon, and they didn't have any overjets. They was traveling from northern Oklahoma down to Anadarko and Lawton. It was one of their money. I'd try to make up with some of those little young Indians. They wouldn't talk to me. And there was one man brought his daughter over there. Oh, she was a peach of a girl. She was about 18, 17, and she was dressed in the finest silk that you could get. And I said, boy, howdy. And I tried to talk to her. She wouldn't say a word. She'd just stand there and look at me like a fence post. And then her dad come up, and her dad would tell her what to ask me in Indian, and she'd talk to me, and she'd ask me whatever her dad wanted to know. And of course, I knew all about it, and I'd tell her. And so I could talk to her about what her dad wanted. He'd tell her to ask something else. She'd talk to him. After that, not a word. I couldn't get a word out of her except what her dad told her to ask me.
How long would you estimate it was before the wagon trains quit rolling through? The time they began to fence the land?
They quit within 6 months.
Yes.
Because they did fence the land, and they had to stand out there with a shotgun to keep them off. Because those people would come through there, 100 wagons, and they was afraid to get off of that trail because they didn't know what it was going. It was lost. And they'd cut the fence, pull the posts, and go right on through. And so the farmers had to get out there with a shotgun to keep them from going through.
And that was all before there were any established roads, and so they were just
Well, that was yes. And then that was just when telephones come in. Telephones was just learning to come in. And when they fenced that road, new barbed wire fence, all nice bright wire, and they tie the telephone to the top wire on that, and go down the road a half a mile where it come out, tie the wire on that, put the pole up across the road, put the pole down on the other side, tie it on the barbed wire fence, and we'd talk 10, 13, 15, 20 miles on that. And we had to buy our own telephones. We'd talk.
and keep up your own lines. Down at Oney, when we wrote that book, some of the early, they mentioned the fact the early telephones were on fence lines.
We
barbed wire on the fence lines.
We put them on the fence lines. Yeah, I helped to do it.
Tell me about Rock Mary. What do you know about Rock Mary?
I don't.
You never heard of Rock Mary in those days?
No. Rock Mary, no.
You know where they claim it is? And it was supposed to have been a signal and a landmark for people traveling through that country. You know where it is?
On the top of the Lone Mound.
No. That's where I say it should be, but it's over in Malouse Canyon.
Well, they said it was on top of the mound. They said there was a grave up there on top of that mound.
But they claim that this rock, this little mound over there in John Malouse Canyon, was Rock Mary, and it was a landmark. It was to keep those settlers on the right road. And I say no such thing.
No, there wasn't any such thing. No.
You can't see that thing a quarter of a mile.
But now in 1904, they tried to get a gold scare. And right in this canyon, right where we are now, they claimed they discovered gold. And they got in rock from Colorado, from Cripple Creek, and they had it in the store windows there. They'd have gold in there. They discovered gold on this farm. That's this canyon here.
On this canyon, right.
Yeah. On this.
The Miller people who gave this 560 acres to the Methodist camp, you know what they retained? What mineral rights they retained?
No.
Their gold rights. They let the oil rights go. They kept the gold rights.
Well, they digging up and down this canyon, these holes. I don't suppose you can find them now anymore.
They say that you can still find one or two shafts over on that west main canyon. This is not the main canyon where we are.
No.
Main canyon is over here about a half a mile.
Yeah. and can't get up and down that canyon for miles and miles. Horses and cows can't get up or in.
It's
It's a canyon where it's a dead-end canyon.
yeah,
When they get in that, they got it.
right. And this was a hideout for outlaws too.
Well, not much of it, no.
Well, before the time that this was settled, this was a hideout for outlaws.
And Pistol Pete, you know, they talk about Pistol Pete so much. Yeah. I ate dinner with Pistol Pete, stayed all night with him. I knew Pistol Pete. He come through Kansas, and he was a little boy, and they called his dad to the door. You know, when they was having that trouble in Kansas, and shot his dad down. 6 men, and Pistol Pete shot every one of those 6 men.
Well,
He killed them.
Is that right?
got
Well, what was
everyone.
his last name? Do you know?
Oh, I can't think of it. Eaton, yeah.
Eaton?
Yeah, Frank
Yeah.
Eaton.
Frank Eaton? Okay.
Yeah, Frank Eaton.
Frank Eaton. Okay.
Lived at Perkins there. His daughter lives there now.
Well, back to Rock Merritt. I say that Lone Mound is the unique mound on the plains around Hinton.
Yeah.
And you can see it from Geary, you can see it from Weatherford, you can see it from within a mile of where I live. And
Well-
I say that is a landmark and not Rock Merritt. I'm going to try someday to debunk that whole thing.
Well, they're wrong about that over in Blues Canyon because they couldn't get in there. But now Lone Mound, you go on top of that mound and you can see the Wichita Mountains are 75 miles.
Right.
You can see those mountains there on a clear day.
And you can see the mounds from
You can see
College
everywhere
and
all
Weatherford, you can see it from Geary, you can see it from Bridgeport, you can see it within 2 miles of,
They-
3 miles of where I live, you can see it from high points around Binger and Lokiba, and I say that's the landmark.
They call it the Lone Mound because there isn't a mound within 10 miles there, about 10 miles to the other mounds, 9 or 10 miles.
But Lone Mound is so unique, it's so symmetrical, and it stands all by itself,
Oh,
very symmetrical, and it's a unique mound. I say mound, I say that's the landmark.
And it looked like there was a grave up there. They said there was a grave up there. And it looked like somebody had buried somebody.
Wasn't it one time also called Dead Woman's Mound?
Yeah, that's what it was. When we came there, the dead woman's mound. Because there was a woman who had been killed and buried up there on the mountain.
Yeah, some people going through and
Yeah,
they died and buried her there on the mountain.
yeah. There was the rocks out there where they, it was a nice little pile of rock.
When you first went there.
Yeah, I saw them.
Yes.
I was up there. Or the people in that part of the country.
What about cattle rustlers and horse rustlers in those canyons down there south of you, east of you?
We didn't have to go south or east of those. When those people come through, those people that come through on those wagons, they have big log chains. And they'd pasture their horses in the evening, and then they'd put the log chain around the horse's neck and around the wheel on the wagon and put a padlock on it. And they went to sleep at night. They didn't have to.
Well, what I meant though, as I understand it, those canyons down there, well below Jim's place and over there below my dad's place.
Yeah.
Over there,
No, there wasn't any.
Porters. and all
There
that.
wasn't any horse thieves in
Is
there.
that right?
No, there wasn't any.
Well, I'd understood at one time they'd hide out there during
well,
the night, maybe use it as a rendezvous
that's-
at night and then go on through.
You hear all kinds of tales like that, but there was nothing like that.
You didn't know anything about it.
I don't imagine there's anybody here that would want to claim to be within 20 years of me.
Well, now wait a minute. Ruth would claim it within 20 years.
Ruth, my friend, and Neoma.
Well, of course, she was,
She's only
80 years old today.
Neoma is.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
She's 80 years old today. That's her birthday.
Oh, they're all for you.
I'm about to get his whistle dry.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun, and a lot of people come in there and they didn't know where they were. And they would read on the stone there, and the man right east of us, he bought a farm, and he read the stone, and he read it wrong. Went down on that farm, that was the farm he bought. And it was Finnissy. the Finney place there, right east of us. One of the poor old farms wasn't worth anything, and he thought he was buying one 6 miles west. See, the
His township reached out.
township was, you got the wrong number.
Read the wrong township.
Our township was 10. No, our section was 10. Township was 11, the range was 12.
Right. Well, I lived down in 912.
Yeah.
And now that's what happened to my dad. He thought he was homesteading on the land down around Landers Corner,
Yeah.
a mile south of him.
Yeah.
And he got just a mile too far north.
Yeah.
Well, just a half a section too far north.
Yeah.
And he got the poorest, next to the poorest farm in the county, I guess.
You see, they pulled their name out of the wheel and put a number on it. And when his number comes, he'd go in there and tell them which farm he wanted.
And he just mixed up on his numbers. That's what he told me.
That's all. He just got mixed up on his numbers.
He thought he was describing the land down there where Landers lived and
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah. He just got the wrong number. I knew your dad when he come in there. When he first come, he was a little 2x4 down in the canyon around under the cedar tree. Fixed it up a little camp down in the canyon. I remember he had some stuff in his pack rats. And anybody that knows what pack rats is, they carry off anything they can get hold of. And they got hold of his glasses and they carried them off. He had a sunglasses. And we found him. We was digging in a pack rat nest about a year after that. We found his glasses. That's how we have to mention it.
Yes, they built a great big old mound of sticks and stuff. And boy, they'd carry anything they'd get a hold of, they'd carry it in there. They were worse as bad as some of us people.
Yeah, we're just as bad as people, yeah.
Well, we're as bad as they. Which is it?
Well, we learned it from them, I guess. We didn't know anything about it until that time. Carrying things.
Mother said she wished she could be here this time, but she said to tell everybody hello.
Yes. Well, it's good that your mother can. She's 98.
98, about 98 and a half now.
Yeah.
I asked her one time if she ever thought she'd live this long. She said no. Did you expect to live this long?
Well, I'd have taken better care of myself when I was young if I was going to